Hello, it's Talkin really here, and in the aftermath of the election this week, we have this article that came out 2 days ago in Nottinghamshire, live online, and it can be found in other online news outlets. The story is about Labour's plans for various benefits such as universal credit, PIP, and of course pensions, which are considered to be a benefit apparently. So, and of course it all revolves around the Labour Party manifesto that was available to you before you voted. So if you did vote for Labour, shame on you. And if you vote for Tory, well, you're going to get what you deserve, because obviously Tories lost. Well, the Labour didn't win, really, technically. They just fell into it, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people really said that on the chat, but the whole point is that people didn't vote Tory, so the Labour sort of won by default, even though it's a system that doesn't work because of the way that it's calculated. For example, Reform got 4 seats, but they got more votes than Lib Dem, and Lib Dem had less votes and got more seats. So you work it out. You tell me how that is fair. And of course, Reform came second in 98 constituencies around the country. So second place. I mean, come on, a little bit more of a push, or even no vote rigging. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more. But we all know it happens. There's been stories out there. I may have to look into that and give you a few examples, but we all know it happens, and it has already been reported that there has been some issues with how votes have been counted, and including the ones that are postal votes. Well, postal votes are easily manipulated. So what are their plans? Well, let's find out, shall we? So they are going to try and kickstart economic growth. The party manifesto outlines various strategies for increasing employment. It currently does not include specific details regarding their plans for the proposed overhaul of PIP, which obviously was put forward by Tories. It does not deal with the fast-tracked transition of legacy benefits claimants onto UC, but that does not mean that they're going to scrap it, or the requirements for individuals to repay their carers allowance when they unknowingly go past the earnings limit, which is what they're doing at the moment. So if you go over by a penny, you have to pay the whole lot back for that particular week or period. It's quite wrong, really, but there you go. Labour does make it clear that it does want to get more disabled people into employment, which will be achieved partly by reducing the huge number of UC claimants who are written off from looking for a job. It wants to reform or abolish the current assessment that decides if someone is unfit for work, which obviously is a good way of doing it, really. If you don't want people to be unfit for work, just remove that particular check, and then everybody is not unfit for work. Very clever. I never would have considered that myself, but there you go. Too many people were out of work, or not enough, or not earning enough. And also they're saying that NHS is responsible for that because of their waiting list for treatment. So they're trying to blame that for how many people are on the sick and claiming benefits, which, if you think about it, is possibly not wrong, but you have to look at what caused that. Why is there a huge backlog of waiting people, possibly because of a experimental medical procedure. I'm only saying, maybe, could well be, or it could be some other reason, I don't know. But yeah, it does make me wonder about that. Yeah, feel free to put your comments and give me an answer to that question, because I'm very interested. But they have obviously mentioned the spending on PIP has increased, obviously, where people have claimed disability benefit. It has increased sharply since the pandemic. Well, there you go. So, sort of answered my question, really, doesn't it? No mention in the manifesto to how to they're going to bring down the spiralling costs of PIP. And obviously this includes the ideas that they were going to do vouchers, but there's no confirmation of that. Labour is said to have indicated it will study the feedback given after consultations end on July 22. So they may well decide that they are going to carry on with that, which is highly likely, unfortunately. I don't know how they're going to do it, but yeah, it's worth looking at. They've confirmed that they're going to try and reduce economic inactivity and get more disabled people into work. And of course, the work capability assessment, which is what they're going to be looking at, needs to be overhauled. In other words, removed, probably. Around a third of UC claimants are in this limited capability work. That's LCW or LCWRA, which are the two disability groups that you can have. And obviously, if you're in the LCWRA, it sort of means that you have to look for work. But these people are mostly in receipt of the PIP as well. Now, obviously, they tried to say that anybody with disabilities, that they're not going to get their benefits cut or stopped as soon as they try working. Yeah. Well, I need to see that in writing, actually. That would be quite good. But, of course, they are trying to blame the long list of waiting for NHS treatment as a reason for this. Probably true, due to the idea that the last 3 or 4 years have been full of medical experiments, which obviously we can't talk about on here. And of course they're going to try and tackle access to work backlogs, which obviously is a benefit, was a pool of money that the employers could access, forgive the pun, to help people back into work by amending or adding support. For example, if you need something to be able to do a job, then Access to Work can fund that for you. And I've seen it happen. I've used it. I had a computer laptop thing bought me, and printer so I could be out in the field, and a laptop case so I could carry it around, and that was funded by Access to Work. So it does work. I mean, you know, it is a good system. However, there is a long wait for it. State pension, they run about the triple lock. Obviously, they are treating that as a benefit. The last one there that they're looking at is the cost of living. The DWP said it was not planning any more payments, but it has extended the household support fund. That's through your local council. This is for helping with food and energy bills. Labour has not proposed any further payments on that, and it has outlined measures to tackle the cost of living crisis. It's planning a make work pay by banning 0-hour contracts, ending fire and rehire, and delivering a genuine living wage. Right, so there we go. That's the shocking story. Labour plans for UC, PIP and pensions, and obviously the cost of living. If you're interested, then please do. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and of course, comment down below. That's it from me. Have a very good day.